How's it going? Thralls of Metal here again. I'm Necrotic Nick, and we're doing another collection update. Figured I'd get around to listing all the shit that I purchased recently. Again, kind of got behind because of Maryland Death Fest, but I just jammed a whole bunch of stuff, and I'm here to share it with you. So, starting off with Saint Vitus, with their new album, Saint Vitus. This is their second self-titled album, so it gets a little confusing. This is really awesome doom metal. It's what they're known for. No wino on this album. I forget who took over on vocals on this. I believe it's one of their older singers. But does an incredible job. Very comparable to Paul Di'Anno in some spots. Has a nice operatic vibrato, and then gets this kind of gritty snarl to some of the vocals too, which I really appreciate. The guitar work is awesome. Lots of effects-driven solos and just good Black Sabbath fucking riffing. There was one or two songs that I didn't care for. One is, I don't even know if I could call it a song. It's called City Park. It's a spoken word over sounds of crickets and rain, and I don't know. It was just weird. It kind of just seemed like thrown in there for effect. And it's not a short track. It's like 4 minutes long, so it's kind of, I don't know. I don't know why it's there. And then the last track, Useless, is a punk song, which kind of threw me. It kind of felt like one of the little in-between tracks on Sepultura's Nation. The word protest is repeated over and over again. It reminded me instantly of a more punky Sepultura song. But outside of that, the other songs in this are great. Really good stuff. If you love doom metal, you probably already know who St. Vitus is. Check it out. Black Mountain, Destroyer. This is a stoner rock / psychedelic rock band from Canada, I believe. This one lays heavy on the psych. Like this feels like a combination of like Deep Purple and Hawkwind. Really strange song structure and like interesting synths on this. There's a song here I thought was very, very comparable to almost like David Bowie meets Bauhaus and Sisters of Mercy. But most of this stays pretty much on the stoner rock spectrum. It's really good stuff. It gets trippy as fuck, but it's a good listen. I guess they retooled this band and have a whole bunch of new members. I think there's only the keyboardist and the guitarist left from the original band, but they put together a hell of an album. This is a fun fucking listen. Check it out. Destrage The Chosen One. This is hard to describe. These guys are from Italy. This is on Metal Blade Records. They are like technical metalcore, makes maybe a little bit of new metal and some prog metal in there too, and a touch of gent. It's all over the damn place, and it has this sort of self-aware humor about it, which I think is a lot of fun. Insane guitar work. It is really top-notch. Very shreddy, very meticulous, but also very melodic and catchy. And some of my issues with more technical music is sometimes they kind of get lost in being technical and kind of forget that, you know, album needs groove and some catchy spots and a good chorus here and there. These guys throw that stuff in, and it's just kind of off-kilter and fun. It's really just a fucking fun listen. If you've never heard of these guys, definitely check them out. You're in for something interesting, regardless of whatever album you get. This is their fourth album. They're all insane. Check it out. Corpus Rottus. This is their full length from 1991. They were a brutal death / kind of early death grind band. They're out of the New York area, so they were kind of in that same scene as Suffocation and Baphomet. Really straightforward, awesome death metal. They never got around to doing a follow-up. This was intended to be their follow-up. This is Nihilism. This one is Rituals of Silence. This is their full-length, really good stuff. This one definitely has more of the grind influence on it. This was originally supposed to be released in like 93, but they broke up before they ever released it, and then this resurfaced in 2009 and was finally put out. Really good shit. It's fucking super heavy. I really dig the more grindcore aspects on this, and it's a demo, so it has a super raw fucking sound to it. This one, still raw, still very raw, but definitely more death metal. Like, you can definitely hear Suffocation, Baphomet, and how they were definitely very, very similar to these guys as well. Really cool underground release. I caught this on fucking YouTube. I just jammed both of these. Like, dude, fuck it, I gotta get this shit. It's good. Corpsessed. The Dagger and the Chalice. This is an EP released on Dark Descent from Finnish death metal / death doom band Corpsessed, and it is awesome. It really creates that doomy atmosphere on every track. The guitars are chuggy and suffocating, you know, deep guttural vocals, and it gets a little blasty at points, but mostly it just stays in sort of that mid-tempo to slower tempo, just chug and pummel and doom. Really fucking good stuff. I've been getting into these guys a lot here lately. I think I have another one of their albums and another collection update. There'll be other ones, I'm sure. Yeah, here, let me tick off. Yeah, so there you get the actual album art there. I can't peel that damn sticker off. It's fucking difficult. Corpsessed, if you're not familiar with them, definitely check them out if you love Finnish death metal. This is something to get. Pestilent Death, Chapters of Depravity. This was another one that I just jammed on YouTube, and it instantly just struck a chord with me. This is on Rotted Life Records. This is their first actual release in terms of a full album. I think the only thing they had before this was a demo, and this is very much in the vein of almost Mortician, I would say. Mortician, except they don't have a drum machine, but gore-oriented lyrics, some blasphemy. There's even a song about Ed Gein, and of course a zombie apocalypse. You know, they pretty much check all the boxes for death metal. Mostly like a real just big mid-tempo stomp, real swampy production, but it really works for it. It kind of creates that extra gritty atmosphere. I dig the fuck out of this. This is a really good release. If you love death metal, period, you should check this one out. It's fucking great. Hellbringer, Awakened from the Abyss. This is a thrash band from Australia on High Roller Records. This is pretty much Slayer worship. It kind of bugged me a bit, because the more I listened to it, the more I just thought of this sounds like Slayer circa Hell Awaits and Rain and Blood. It's very close to it. The vocals are almost the same, the cadences are almost the same, the riffing 100% the same. Now, of course, there's variances to keep it from being, you know, 100% plagiarism, but it stays really close to that sound. It's good though, it's well executed, I can't knock them for that. It's just, I think they played their influences a little too close there, and the production actually reminds me of the production on Rain and Blood too, so it has that Rick Rubin fucking sound to it. I don't know who actually did the production, but I mean, if you wanted it to sound like Slayer, you fucking got it. But all in all, it's a pretty good album, just a little derivative. So, I mean, check it out, of course, form your own opinions. Fetid, Steeping Corporeal Mess. This is a new one out on 20 Buck Spin, and this is pretty much what you expect from 20 Buck Spin as far as death metal here lately. Gritty, ugly, just dirty sounding death metal. Very much in the realm of a band like Tomb Mold, especially since their drummer is their singer too, much like Tomb Mold. Only a 3-piece, and it is heavy as hell. I want to say these guys have to, you know, come out of that same scene that has just given us a band like Ossuarium, which I think is fantastic, and also out on 20 Buck Spin, and very similar in the sound, except I think they're a little more death doom. This is more straightforward death metal. It is ugly as shit. Like, those parts in there just remind me of a dirtier version of Bolt Thrower, maybe mixed with Broken Hope. It's nasty. It's a solid jam, front to back. It's only 5 tracks. They're pretty long. I don't know if you count this as an EP or a mini album, but I already want more. This is fucking awesome. Windir Soknardalr. I fucking probably fucked that up. This is a black metal band. I had them on a previous collection update, and this one's a little more raw and a little more towards the folky side of black metal. Less of the interesting keyboard and electronic parts that were scattered in there. It's way more straightforward, but unfortunately the songs didn't resonate with me as much. There's some really good ones on here, but I want to say, like, it even sounds like they kind of had some outtakes or mistakes that just made their way in there. Like, there's parts where the guitars, you know, come in a little bit early and you can really hear that in the mix, or just like an off beat, and they don't sound like part of the song, they sound like a mistake in there. But all in all, this is pretty good stuff. I mean, if you like black metal, you like it on the more folky side. Pretty good stuff. I like their other album, 1184, a bit better, but this was still pretty good. Skinny Puppy, Too Dark Park. It's not always metal here, I guess. I used to be a big goth kid, or hung out in the goth scene. I don't know. Kinda. I don't know. It's debatable. But I really still enjoy Skinny Puppy. It's an interesting electronic band, industrial band. Just a lot of weird shit. Occasionally some heavy guitars here and there. Lots of weird lyrics that are stream of consciousness, as in the frontman Ogre just kind of starts talking and goes on a tangent about something. But it's very dark, and you know, this is kind of my break from metal, is weird electronic music. It's good. I mean, you know, I'm not going to spend too much time in it. Not very metal, but if you're into weird electronic music and fucking industrial, check it out. This is pretty much a classic. Imprecation, Satanae, Tenebris, Infinita. Cool story. When we did the Imprecation review on our channel for their most recent release, we actually got a comment from one of the members that really appreciated our review. So I even said in the comment back that I would be getting more of their stuff, and I am a man of my word. So this is the album that came before it, and I dig this one too. It's very much in that vein of incantation, deep, chuggy, nasty fucking death metal with a very evil sound. Some parts maybe border on Black and Death, but I'd say this pretty much stays the course for the most part on straightforward death metal. It's ugly and fucking satanic as fuck. Fucking great fucked up album cover. I fucking love it. This is out on Dark Descent. If you're not hip to these guys, check them out. They're really fucking good. If you love incantation especially, very similar. Fleshgod Apocalypse, Veleno. This is their new one. This is really good. I was actually kind of surprised because sometimes they're just too fucking much. If you're not familiar, they are an Italian death metal band, but they're symphonic. They include a lot of symphonic elements, strings, pianos, even female operatic vocals here and there, lots of layering and such. It can be too much sometimes, but they did a really good job on this one. It doesn't feel as suffocating as some previous albums. It's just tight. It's really tight musicianship. It reminds me a lot of earlier Behemoth, except with a fuck ton of pianos and strings in there. But solid. I really can't say much bad about this. I mean, some of the songs I think went on a little too long, and at some points the operatic elements became a little bit too much, but for the most part, it's really good. You still can make out the riffs in it. You don't get drowned out. And so they did a really good job with the production to make sure everything stands out and nothing gets thrown in the background. Like, you can make out everything on this. So that's really good if you're trying to do this sort of thing. But yeah, solid release from them. Check it out. Octobertide in Splendor Below. This is the most recent one from Octobertide, which is a death doom band, or melodic death doom band from Sweden. This actually features two members from Catatonia, which are on hiatus, so good to see them still working. This is out on Agonia Records, by the way. This is really good stuff. Very, very melodic. Yeah, the vocal performance on this, I think, is really good. You can really hear everything the guy's saying. It's a clear, awesome growl. Music is very depressive. It kind of has those Catatonia-like sounds, like they're, you know, kind of melancholy guitars, except they're a little bit heavier, a little bit crunchier on this, you know, more death metal. It's another solid album from these guys. I have two of their previous albums that I really like. I think this one sounds even more polished. Really, really solid writing. I dig it. Check it out. Enforcer, Zenith. This is a disappointment. I got into Enforcer actually when they first came out on Heavy Artillery, and I love their first two albums. They definitely captured that new wave of British heavy metal sound, and it was fantastic. The vocals were soaring, guitars were beautiful, lots of awesome harmonies and leads. And later on they signed to Nuclear Blast, and they put out some other killer albums. Some more thrashier influences came out too, a little bit of like Flotsam Jetsam almost, mixed with Iron Maiden. And then this one, they decided they loved Def Leppard more, which I generally don't have a huge problem with Def Leppard. I kind of grew up on them. But going from one to the other, this is not a good transition. The opening track is just lackluster. It almost sounds like a power ballad. Like, you don't open up with something like that. You kind of want to set the pace with something strong, but when you finally get to a stronger song, it has these kitschy choruses, and it just feels like a watered-down version of their former selves. And really overproduced. Like, the vocals have way too many fucking filters on them. It just doesn't sound natural. And I don't know why they wanted to change their sound so much. This seems really extreme for them. But, you know, this, I'm sure, will have its fans. It's just not me. And then finally we have Vale of Pnath, Accursed. This is their new EP out on Willowtip, and it's a bit of a change for the band. Like, they were a technical melodic death metal band, or tech death. I mean, it had melody to it, but I mean, you could argue it was just straightforward tech death. This is a little more keyboard drenched and a little more blackened death, but it's still very technical death metal. It's pretty good. I like their previous two better than this, though. Last time I saw these guys, they were sporting a new singer in the band, and he has a much different delivery than their previous singer. He sounds more like the frontman for Dark Tranquility, like kind of that mid-level raspy growl, but it's very intelligible. He gets down low every now and then, but for the most part he sticks with that range. The previous guy had a much lower delivery and went from lows to highs and like more extreme levels. Kind of like that guy's sound a little bit better, but you know, I gotta jam this more. It might grow on me. For an EP, they spent a little bit too much time on intros and parts too, which that's just a thing that bugs me. But again, check it out. Just my opinion. Well, that'll do it for another collection update. I'm going to get back to listening to more shit, and we will be back with probably more album reviews or whatever other goofy shit we think of. Either way, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, and if you're new to the channel, subscribe. Catch you guys later.